Unreal. Yeah, this is the Republican Party. Yeah, based Republican, pro Russia, pro Putin. Fuck the 2020 election. No proven widespread voter fraud. Let's just go ahead and and let Trump install himself for second term. Just to let you know, like this is fascism. Someone in the chat said that I kicked him because I was losing. He he admitted that Trump should have stolen the election in 2020. There's no worse concession to make. How how could you possibly say that I lost? He said I got him to say that Trump should have stole the election. No shit, I didn't lose. Manu, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I do appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much, Manu. You are absolutely phenomenal, and I do appreciate you so much for your support. What a crazy take. What a crazy take. Dean lost because he got Republican to say that not only did Trump try to steal the election, but that Trump should have tried to steal the election. Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen. But everybody, please do show some love to Manu down below in the comment section, literally right now. I do really appreciate you for the $10 donation on Venmo. You're so incredibly kind. Make sure to show some love to Manu down below. And if you do want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio, listed as VNP, as well as they're in the link tree for a direct link. I get 100% of the proceeds over those platforms. They go directly to me, and I get a notification at the top of my phone screen where you could attach your name, a message, as well as the amounts. And I'll happily read it off. Hello, CR. Did you vote for Trump?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I did.
How old are you?
I am 28.
So why
My
did you vote for Trump?
birthday's, well, I do come from a very Republican background, but I actually didn't like Trump, but I voted for him because being a woman, I just didn't think that the alternative had enough. You talk a lot about women's rights, that
Oh, yeah,
Kamala
Chantel,
was,
thank you for the $4.44 on PayPal. Show some love to Chantel. Go ahead.
she was only offering, like, her whole thing was about, abortion rights, right?
Oh,
And I didn't like my rights only being like there's only one option for me. And so, I mean, yes, you can
what?
say Trump in his personal life has talked badly about women, but he put abortion to the states. Like, I just, I wanted more from Kamala being a woman myself, like, and I just didn't think her only like option was
So,
okay, you can have
so what?
abortion.
What did Trump do for women?
No, I'm not saying that he did. I'm saying you asked me why I voted for Trump, and I'm saying that more
So
like
I
the
just want to
alternative.
understand your position.
Mhm.
So you're a woman and you really care about women's rights, and you were upset that Kamala Harris was not doing enough for women's rights, even though what she was doing would have prevented 22,000 rape victims from being denied access to health care a year and would have ensured that all women and girls in our country have federal protections for the right to choose. She wasn't doing enough for women's rights, so you voted for Trump. So what was Trump doing that was more for women's rights?
I think so. It's more about for me. It's about
You
options.
voted
So
against women's rights.
when you're saying that she was doing a lot for women, yes, abortion is definitely an option. But you talk about a lot of people that are assaulted, right? And it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. I feel like yes, abortion it should be an option for people, but like the conversation only stops there. Where I have heard Trump talk about, look, there is a lot of mental health problems. There's people abusing drugs, and I do think drugs and stuff. That's a lot of what has to do with people that are getting assaulted. And I just didn't hear like her take on. Yes, abortion is a great option, but like somebody that is suffering from assault, whether they have an abortion or not, they're going to go through trauma the rest of their life, right? It's not just limited to, oh, once I have my right to get an abortion, I'm just going to
So,
be free of
in
trauma.
one or two sentences, Kamala Harris would have prevented 22 rape victims from being denied access to abortion every single day. What will Donald Trump do that is more important than that?
You want me to
Be
answer what's
specific.
more? What will Donald Trump do
Yeah,
that's more important specific to women?
sure. I mean, or just in general, I don't think anything's more important than that.
Well, no, I'm see, like I can agree with you that I think the argument I'm trying to make, or my point is that, yes, she had an option, but I think both of you and I can agree that there needs to be more, right?
Duh, dude. Like, the
Yeah.
world wouldn't have been perfect if Kamala Harris was
No,
elected.
of course, right.
But
And
it
I
but it
just,
would have been like astronomically better than if Trump was elected. So can you answer the question? Like we don't vote for perfection, we vote for
no,
progress.
of course. And I'm just saying,
And I think that you have to make the argument that Donald Trump will usher more progress than Kamala Harris.
I think some of the reasons why assault happens is related to like what's the issue? Like why are people getting assaulted, right? You could even
Dude, this
say,
isn't an answer to my question. I'm trying to be really kind to you, and honestly, like I'm just a little bit like mentally tired because the last two guests I've had have been a bit.
mhm,
But I mean, I'll repeat the question, and I would really enjoy an answer. Um, if Kamala Harris was elected, 22 grave victims would not be denied access to abortion every year. Sorry, every day, not every
right.
year, every
Hmm.
day.
Hmm.
So, what is Donald Trump going to do that is more important and more progressive for the rights of women or the country as a whole than that?
This is just my personal opinion. It's just me as a woman and like where I have my views, but I'm just saying, so I'll answer your question, but I'll talk a little bit. I don't necessarily, I can't say like you have facts of what she would do to save all those people. Like they have their right, right? So I can't specifically say this is a policy he has in place. This is what he'll do.
Joby, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. I can't even read your message out. You feel very negatively about the current guest on the live. But I do really appreciate you for the love, Joby. That is Joby. Everybody, please show some love to Joby down below in the comment section. I like the wow. Joby has such negative like thoughts and feelings about the current guest on the live that like I can't even read that. Wow, I can't even read that one out, Joby. But hey, listen, I really appreciate you for the $20 donation. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
That I'm saying that because of his character
You
that,
make no sense.
sorry, what?
You make no goddamn sense. I'm waiting on an answer to my question. I feel like I'm being a little bit too nice because I'm legitimately so lightheaded after being mentally exhausted by the last two guests that I'm willing to be a little bit more easygoing on you. But I mean,
Right.
for the
And I
8,000 people watching,
appreciate
has
that.
she
I
answered
know,
my
and
question yet?
I appreciate that. And I just wanted to share like my thoughts on this. I'm sorry I'm not polished, I don't do this every day.
I'm
I
gonna be
just,
honest. I've collected zero thoughts from you. I think I can't. If you were to put a gun in my head and be like, "What is one thought that the current guest shared?" I'd be empty-handed.
and I mean, I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to share, like, I am more of an advocate for women that need more than just abortion. That's just what I wanted to share with you. And
Okay, I am too. Yeah,
yeah,
women don't just need federal protections for
right,
access to abortion.
exactly. Well, I was
Women
just talking
also
because you're an
women. One moment.
advocate. You are an advocate
One
for
moment.
women's rights, right?
Emery, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Will you allow me to finish?
Yeah, of course.
But Emery, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I do appreciate you for the love. I'm not just an advocate for women to get the right to get an abortion. I'm an advocate to stop systemic misogyny. I'm an advocate
Mm-hmm.
to stop traditionalism. I'm an
You as a,
advocate for
yes,
for education, right, for young men to not think they're superior or better at leading or more
right.
competent or more able than women. I'm an advocate to reduce the impact of harmful stigmatizations of women in STEM
Mm-hmm.
related fields, women in positions of leadership. I'm
Mm-hmm.
an advocate to stop like medical misogyny, right? So women aren't like
Right.
treated with higher levels of malpractice compared with men. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
advocate for a reduction in the rate of violent crime, so men stop like raping, abusing, and kidnapping women. I'm an advocate for all these things, right? But I don't understand how like that somehow leads you to the conclusion that voting for the rapists, right? Like voting for the guy that has now caused 22 rape victims a day to be denied access to abortion, voting for the guy that said that pregnancy is the best thing that could ever happen to a woman and a woman's only in her job because of how pretty she is, right? is like a better choice than voting for Kamala Harris, who would have codified those protections to ensure all rape victims have access to abortion, and that 1 out of every 3 women in our country isn't being denied that access. It doesn't make any sense. Dana, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I do appreciate you for the love. Massive W's for Dana down below. That is DNA. And then, like, additionally, like, you're just saying, oh, just abortion isn't enough, and that's somehow supposed to make Kamala Harris look bad. Like, what
No,
the
it's
fuck?
not. No, it's not.
Not at all.
I'm not
And how
trying
does
to
this
make
get
her
you to
look
vote for
bad.
Trump? Can you clear that up? How does this get you to vote for Trump?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
what?
sorry if I'm not being so. I'm rambling, but I just want to. Okay, so we both believe that women's right?
You don't
Advocate for
believe in
women.
women's rights. No, you're not an advocate for women. No, get out of here with that bullshit. I'm gonna be
Okay,
so fucking real. You voted for rape culture over ensuring abortion access and protections to rape victims. You're not an advocate for women's rights.
so that's just your belief that I'm not.
No,
Then can
it
we
is. It is
both?
my
Can
belief.
we just? Okay, can we
I
just?
believe it's a very sound, an evidential, an evidential, it's a very sound
Mhm.
belief. It's a very
Okay, I
sound,
just.
objective belief. Yeah.
Okay, but can we agree though that it? Because I've listened to you a lot and you advocate for women. Okay, I know you're making the claim that I don't, but
Yeah.
can we
No.
both agree that when women are sexually assaulted, that whether they have access to abortion, whether it's denied, what you know what I mean, regardless of our beliefs, that they're going to have trauma the rest of their lives,
Yep.
and that they need more than just abortion, right?
Yep. Abortion's a good start, though. Ashley, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I do appreciate you for the love, Ashley. Based. Thank you for the love. So, anyways, what were you saying?
I was just saying that as a woman, there's that's just one of the reasons why I voted for Trump, not solely.
Lindsay, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Wait, okay, that's where I lose you. Okay, Lindsay. Sorry, not Lindsay, but Lindsay, thank you for the $5 donation. And then that's where the hell I lose you. That's
Okay,
where
so
the hell I lose you. I have
so
no clue. I have no clue how you're making that connection. You're like, great victims need more than just access to abortion, so I voted for Trump. Let me ask you a
no,
question. What
that's
is
just
Trump
one
going
of
to
them.
do for great victims?
What is he going to do for rape victims?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's gonna deny and defame them. In fact, he was civilly adjudicated of not just defaming any grape victim, but defaming his grape victim. That's what he's gonna
So,
do for grape
do
victims.
you not believe that when he led it back in the States for the state to decide that, it's not like he's going, oh, I don't want anyone to ever get an abortion, right? Do you not take that as a positive thing whatsoever that the states get to say what they want to do?
Oh, no, bad thing. Zoe, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. And Janice, thank you for the $30 on Venmo, saying thank you for adding your voice. I do appreciate you for the love, Janice. That is Janice. Everybody, please, let's get at least 300 W's for Janice down below in the comment section right now. I really appreciate you for the love. That is so incredibly kind of you, Janice. W's. So let me ask you this question.
Hmm.
Why should access to abortion be left up to the states instead of the federal government? And Sierra, thank you for the $25 donation on Venmo. And J-Paw with a $10 donation on Venmo. Holy crap, you guys. You guys are going absolutely crazy on the donations right now. Everybody, please show some love to Sierra and J-Paw. Thank you guys so much. It means the world. I really appreciate you guys for the donations. It means a lot. Thank you so much. And Thomas, thank you for the $5 donation on Venmo. W's for Thomas, W's for Sierra, and W's for J-Paw. But yeah, tell me why it should be left up to the states. What's your argument? What's your reason?
Okay, sorry. I'm nervous, so I'm not.
It's okay. I'm nervous too.
Um, I am pro-life, so I don't know. I'm not trying to convince anyone here. I'm just saying this is just what my thought is and my reason. The prompt is, you know, why Trump will be terrible for America. So I was just giving you my personal reasons why. So,
Dude, I laugh. I laugh every time. I laugh every time. You don't think rape victims should be able to get an abortion, huh?
What?
You think that rape victims should not have legal access to abortion?
Did I say that?
Oh no, I'm asking you a question.
No. I
So you do think they should have legal access to abortion?
Are you talking about like legally or just my moral, you know what I
Do
mean?
you
Because
think that a rape victim should have legal access to abortion?
I personally don't because I'm pro-life. Like, you know what I mean? It would be like is asking me, do you think a child that's innocent that had nothing to do with it should be murdered?
Yeah,
But that's just what
this is an advocate for women's rights. Damn man, I wish I wasn't so tired, man. I just like to expect it at this point, bro. I just can't even believe it. We'll get into that in like 3 seconds. I gotta thank a couple donors here. JPot, thank you for the $10 once again for dealing with the stupidity in my boxes. Yeah, this. Please don't leave. I really want to talk to you further. Thank you. Thank you so much, JPot. And Sierra says, "Surfing cunt, love you, bestie. I love you too, Sierra." Thomas with a $5. I appreciate you so much for the love. And Christina with a $2 saying, "Republicans hear the word federal protection and immediately think it's a government overreaching." Yeah, actually, federal protections limit government overreach. Let's see. Brennan, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying Trump's last reps also ending equity and equality for women and minorities, though. Yeah, no, don't worry, though. She's an advocate for women's rights. Lonnie, thank you for the $10 on PayPal for having to listen to the bullshit and uneducated people. Lonnie, it means the world. I appreciate you for the love. Everybody, show some love to Lonnie, please. And if you want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in the V and the P in my bio. So let's have a conversation about it. I bet I could convince you that great victims should be able to get access to abortion. Are you ready?
well, sorry, so real quick, can I just address the women's rights thing?
Do you want to?
Well, I don't like being just labeled, oh, she's, against women's rights. The reason why I didn't vote for Kamala is because it's a limited of women's rights. Like, is there a policy or anything where Trump actually was going to limit women's rights? Like, if there is,
Uh,
just tell me. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it doesn't come in societalization. It doesn't come in policy this term, right? He did that last term when he overturned Roe v. Wade. That was a policy. But this is all about societalization this term. Okay, right? Yeah, because what happens when you put a president, when you put a misogynist rapist in the presidency? What happens? All of a sudden, all the other misogynists, all the other rapists are taught that that is societally acceptable, and we don't hold social consequences to these behaviors and attitudes. And if anything, we reward them. So that emboldens misogynists and further enables them to feel more comfortable with being more misogynistic because they will literally expect a reward rather than a consequence. And we're already seeing it. Go compare the comment section, my comment sections, compared to the
Mhm.
comment section of a woman liberal creator.
Well, even this
It's
comment section
misogynist
for me, you know
galore.
what I mean? I mean, a lot of your viewers are calling me stupid and dumb as a woman. And it's just kind of like the irony, like,
You're stupid and dumb, not because you're a woman, but because of what you believe in.
right, but I am a woman. Like, you can't
No,
deny that.
you are a woman and you are
Right.
stupid and dumb, but you're not stupid and dumb because you're a woman. You know? Makes sense to me. Listen, but you could become intelligent. You right now today you could
That's the
go
best thing I've ever
from
heard. Thank you.
right now you could go from being
Hmm.
stupid and dumb to being ultra based gigatrad. Okay, and I'll tell you
Hmm.
how. The first step is just going to be recognizing that you could be pro life and like still think that at least grave victims deserve access to abortion. Like
Hmm.
seriously, this is just the bare minimum, and I don't mind explaining it to you.
Hmm.
So like when we're looking at like like a great victim that's getting an abortion, and you're like considering why it's wrong from the pro life perspective, like
Hmm.
you're generally just thinking that it's wrong because like the baby dies, right?
Right. Well, I think everything that's happened is wrong. It's not fair to the mom. It's not fair, the guy who did it. Like, it's also not fair to the baby. That's, you know what I mean? I'm not just limiting.
Dude, you just say it's not fair to the rapist?
No, 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 no. I'm saying it's not fair to the mom. It's not fair to the
How is it
baby.
not fair to the no? It's not fair to the mom to restrict your access to abortion. She's literally, forcefully, violently having
Mm-hmm.
this conception occur
Mm-hmm.
inside of her uterus without her consent because a man
Mm-hmm.
decided to violate
Right. Yeah.
her, right? And you're saying it's not fair for her to be able to remove that from her? It's more than fair.
No, I'm
And here's
saying
the
it. No, I
relation,
was saying
because
it's not fair what happened to her. I'm
she
saying the
has
rape.
she has no
Sorry.
obligation to provide for the needs of the
Mm-hmm.
dependent fetus growing in her uterus. Like, let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you this question, right? So let's just say you barely get by. You make enough money to just buy enough food for you to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. And every day I break into your house and I steal half of your food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I leave you with a bare minimums. And you're going to be struggling for the next 9 months while I'm stealing your food. And you could stop me from stealing your food by locking your door when you go to sleep. But in doing so, I die because I no longer have access to food and I'm going to starve on the streets. Would you be doing anything wrong if you were to lock your door to prevent me from stealing your food?
Um, I would say no.
Exactly. Exactly. The relation here is that the great victim
Mm-hmm.
and her bodily resources are the food,
Mm-hmm.
and the fetus is stealing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she's providing no consent for that fetus to take her bodily resources to survive. And in that hypothetical, when we lock the door, killing the person that stealed the food,
Mm-hmm.
right, because they no longer have the means to survive, all that we're doing is removing the fetus from the mother's uterus, quote unquote, locking that door, and no longer has any means to get the resources to survive and it dies. All right? It is
Mm-hmm.
completely analogous. It is just an exemplary function of either bodily autonomy or property rights. You are well within your right to lock that door to keep the person out that's stealing your food, even if they die. And a great victim is well within their right to evict the fetus from her uterus, even if they die.
I get what you mean by the scenario, but if we're taking that is if the reason why you would die, the sole reason you would die is because I'm locking your door. I'm locking my door.
Mm-hmm.
But like if that was a real life, I know it's an analogy, but if it's a real life situation, someone who's stealing food would then just go to a different house. It wouldn't be like me literally being responsible for killing you if you kept stealing my food. You would
You
have
could
another
do
option.
you could you could make any mental contortion in your brain. The point of the hypothetical is that that person would have
Mm-hmm.
no other option, right, than stealing your food for 9 months, right? And you would still be doing nothing wrong if you didn't let them steal it.
Well, the in my because my faith, the wrong I would be doing would be essentially letting you starve to death. If you had no other source, you're saying that it's
Fucking
okay for
hell.
me to do
I
that.
got a couple people to thank for the donos. Sydney, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. Sydney said, "Thanks for trying to wake these folks up." Thank you so much, Sydney. I do really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sydney. And then Samantha with a $20 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much, Samantha. Dude, W's for Samantha down below. Samantha says she can be pro-life for herself, but she cannot force her beliefs on every woman in the country. That's what she has done. Keep cooking, Dean. Yeah, I think, Samantha, we're actually going to get into that explanation right after I finish reading out these donations. But thank you for the $20 donation, Samantha. You guys are being so kind today. Ashley with a $25 donation on Venmo. Ashley says she can have her beliefs and raise her family one way, but voting for control over women across the nation based on personal morals is wild. This hurts listening to. Thank you for supporting women's rights. We appreciate you. It seems like there's a very shared sentiment there. And okay, we're going to go ahead and touch on that point right now. But W's for Ashley in the comment section. Thomas, thank you for the $5 in Venmo. Saying you're boss, dude. The variabilities between your guests is wild. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you, Thomas, for the donation. I love you. You're great. Katie with a $10 donation on Venmo, saying for the headache that arguing with Republicans is. An abortion saved my life at 10 after I was raped. Katie, wow. I just if you ever come to a time where you want to publicly share your story, I'd love to have you up. But I understand if that's something you want to keep personal and private. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's insane. And Blair, thank you for the $15 donation on Venmo. saying, so sorry you have to deal with these people and it means the world that you're trying to educate them with their small MAGA brains. I appreciate you for the $15 donation, Blair. Gerard with the Melissa. And she has a very unique blood type that only one other human alive has. All right.
Hmm.
And it just so happens to be you. And if you don't give Melissa your kidney, Melissa's going to die. If you chose to not give Melissa your kidney and she died, would you be a murderer?
Would I be a murderer?
Would you be a murderer or would you be doing anything wrong?
I don't think I'd be a murderer, but I would feel personally convicted by that, right? If I was the only person and I just decided not to because of whatever reason.
Yeah, sure. You could have your personal convictions, but do you think that the law should be able to force you to give your kidney to Melissa?
No.
Dude, Melissa, I'm going to refund you your $10 because you just gave me the fucking analogy that broke through. Melissa, I'm going to refund your $10, okay? Because this was all you. This was all you. So what you just said, right, is that if there was another autonomous individual who was reliant upon you to survive, right,
Hmm.
and they needed your kidney to live, and you chose not to provide them to you, that you shouldn't be legally obligated to, right? And
Hmm.
think about the legal obligation for you to give Melissa your kidney, right? The same way as a great victim's legal obligation to sustain the life of the fetus growing in their womb in states without access to abortion, right?
Hmm.
All that allowing for great victims to have access to abortion in states is saying is that they are under no legal obligation to provide for the means of that fetus, and they can personally choose if they want to evict it from their womb and stop supplying it the metaphorical kidney or their bodily resources.
Hmm.
And I'm sure plenty of them will have their personal convictions and whatnot, but we are just making sure that they are under no legal obligation.
Hmm.
You understand why, how, or slash how you could be pro-life while also believing that great victims shouldn't be under a legal obligation to sustain their pregnancy and should have, right, the free will to choose if they want to access abortion?
Right. I think it's complicated for me personally, but yeah, I people can do what they want. That's why I thought if they gave it back to the states, they
No,
get
we
to
should have.
decide.
Or wait, do you think that, like, let's just say, like, remember the kidney example? Let's say you
Hmm.
lived in California and California decided that you should
Hmm.
be under a legal obligation to give Melissa your kidney. Do you
Hmm.
think that the government, the federal government, should intervene and tell California that they can't force you to give someone else your kidney?
Mm, I see what you're saying. That.
You agree that, like, the federal government
Mhm.
should be like, all right, California, you're doing something that's a little too crazy. You shouldn't be able to force you to give Melissa her fucking kidney. Would you say
Mhm.
that if the federal government did that, that they would be doing a good thing? If they
Mhm.
stepped in and they intervened and they stopped California from legally forcing you, that the federal government would be doing something good?
Mhm.
You would, okay. So in other words, all that you're saying here, as related to the conversation about great victims of abortion, is that the federal government would be doing something good if they pass legislation to make it federally legal in all 50 states for great victims to access abortion. All of a sudden, you hold an entirely pro-choice view specifically about great victims.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying, and I really do appreciate you talking to me about this and being kind and respectful. I definitely do mumble a lot, but it is good to hear other insight.
I mean, how do you feel about the insight? Do you agree with it? And do you disagree with it? And if you do disagree with it, why do you disagree with it? Because, like, hopefully I just want to work you into a position where, like, you either disagree with it with no reason just because you're having internal conflicts with your biases, right? Or that you agree with me.
I personally don't agree with abortion, but I think we have a disagreement on, you are obviously pro-choice and I'm pro-life, and the
Well,
reasons
specifically
why.
about the great victims here. Will you admit that you just disagree with me because of conflicts with your internal biases? Or do you actually have a reason to, like, dispute, right, the analogy that we just made together?
What is your definition of my internal biases?
No, I mean, you've just been pro-life for so long. You've thought that great victims shouldn't have access to abortion for so long. You can't just flip the switch in 5 seconds because I was able to demonstrate to you that it'd be illogical for you to think that great victims shouldn't have access.
Hmm.
Like that's all that I'm saying. Like I remember when someone like gave me a really convincing argument that
Hmm.
like God probably didn't exist. Like I had admitted, agreed, and conceded that it was logically consistent, but yet I was willing to reject the belief because I had been Catholic for so long.
Right. Okay, so you come from a Catholic background. Gotcha.
Do you think that like people shouldn't be able to get abortions because God like gave a value? Are you a Christian?
Yes, I missed what you said right before that.
Okay, you do. No worries. I want to talk about that. Alexis, thank you for the $1.50 on Venmo. And Joe with the $5. Fuck you, Joe. You know who you are. Matthew with the $10 on Venmo saying, you got me into politics and advocating for women's rights, and I started a TikTok for it, and I'm planning to go live soon to debate. Thank you. You're best. You're the best, Matthew. W's for Matthew, and I mean it. Harvest with a $1. I appreciate you. And Day with a $10 on Venmo saying, thanks for educating. Grape is one of the huge reasons why women need abortions, and we also can't forget medically, as some women get issues during pregnancy, and that's when they want a child. W. Dean, for real. I guess like I always try to talk people that don't think rape victims should be able to access abortions off the ledge. Like that's always like the most impertinent and important thing to me, I guess.
Hmm.
But yeah, do you really want me to give you an argument for why, in accordance with the Christian faith, you should be pro-choice, or should I just move on to my next guess?
You know what? You've had a long day. You can move on and I'll listen, but I would love to hear sometime more. And I know you talked about your article, just kind of about your background. I am very interested in hearing that. So,
Oh,
but yeah, I don't need to be on for you to talk about that. So you can go ahead.
awesome. Well, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you. All right, you guys. Let's see. We are at 4:40 p.m. We have been live for 4 hours and 15 minutes. We are probably going to be ending live like right now. I guess no more debates for the day. We're done.